Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are in this world. This is Hedgen Lee with a silver update. I know I had given a gold update, and a request was made for silver. So I'll take you through from a blank chart perspective. This goes back to 1998, but good enough. If we label the Elliott wave from the lowest point that we can identify and call this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, we see that 3 and 5 were near vertical, which is quite common, especially for 3. One mistake that people are making is they are measuring the length of each wave in time. The length of each wave is measured in price height. Thereby, even though wave 1 took the longest time, it doesn't make it the longest in wave on price. So in this case, which wave is the extended wave if you measure it only by price height? Clearly wave 5 was extended. And when you get an extended fifth, as I often say, I sell, I turn and I don't walk, I run away. The reason is because the extended fifth usually draws price down to the wave 2, prior wave 2 region. Now some might say, well, 3 cannot be the shortest, but it looks the shortest. Well, that's when you have to do an actual measurement. So if we measure the price height of 1 and lay that on top of 3, is clearly shorter than 3. Thereby, 3 in this impulse label is not the shortest. It does not have to be the longest, while often wave 3 is the extended wave amongst the actionary waves of 1, 3, and 5. The only rule is that it cannot be the shortest and never says that it has to be the longest. That's what that allows, the extension of 5 and at times the extension of 1. So we have the extended fifth. We've got the correction. What's next? There are multiple ways of counting this. You can call it a WXY. I'm going to call it the initial decline to be 5 waves down. If that's the case, we've got a 5 wave down. That's not necessarily corrective if you just leave it alone as a 5 wave. A correction does not end in 5 waves. I think that could be the 5 waves could be the subwaves of an A. We have a B. And we'll likely get a C down to this region. Many silver bulls and gold bulls are coming out and again calling for targets that are just banner in the skies. And it makes sense. I mean, stock market has been correcting now 20+% or so, and yet silver has gone really nowhere. And that should be a bit disconcerting for many of the silver and gold bulls. If we look at the S&P 500, the red A is about to be finished. It fell from almost 3K to down to the 2300s. It may go a little more, but I believe the B is in progress. And if this B wave is in progress, that's not necessarily bullish for silver if you truly believe in the inverse correlation. So instead of believing in and relying on that inverse correlation, I think just purely going based on count would make a lot more sense. Now there is a potential of an ending diagonal. What do I mean by that? Usually a C wave can end as a diagonal. So if that's the case, a diagonal is a hybrid of a bullish and a corrective sequence. And thereby, the bullish aspect is counted as an impulse. in 5 waves. The corrective aspect shows usually a certain degree of a wedge, downward pointing wedge in this C wave. And also the subwave composition of the 5 waves is in threes, as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and thereby we can expect the 5th wave to also come in 3 waves. So that'll be my analysis for silver, that it goes well into the realm of the prior wave 2. But since it wasn't as extended on the 5th as gold was, I think this ending in an ending diagonal for the C wave of this 5, 3, and 5, a zigzag, where usually the C wave is the longest but not required. Quite often, the A wave of a zigzag of the ABC is longest. And when the C wave ends in an ending diagonal, it's usually short and stubby because it has to abide by the parameters of the wedge pattern. So I think lower lows for silver is likely, especially if we continue with the B wave rally of the stock market. So with regards to this, when we are looking at in a weekly time frame, what does this mean? The terminal end of the ABC correction for silver is pretty close. And I think that's very interesting. What does that mean? Is it time to be considering to take buying actions or selling actions? If you look at the percentage difference of where it is right now to where it is targeted, it isn't that great. So that buying or selling decision must be self-made. I hope you found this to be helpful. Have a great day.